Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, episode NC-17.
It's the return of the fucking because
Yes.
it's NC-17.
It
So
is.
just throw all the rules out the window.
Return
And just imagine
of
us
Olympus.
Oh, I'm naked right now.
We're naked.
We missed you.
We've been gone a while.
boys.
Yeah.
We know
We're
that
back.
we know that you all were contemplating suicide without us, so we decided to come back.
Yeah, we hope that the herd has been thinned a little, but not too much. Yeah.
Kyle's like a dark elder. He feeds off of pain. like his that's his life special rule, powered from pain.
Yep. Oh my god.
2 times the releases for the most frustration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think has secretly been working for FFG, telling them to only order half of the product this whole time?
It's not anti-Kyle, it's regular Kyle.
Regular Kyle.
Like I just don't think that Princess Leia is going to be very popular. Everybody.
Right? We chose the wrong one. She's not even in the dress. We should cut that order by half.
Yeah. We realized that she has passed away and was adored by nerds everywhere, so
Right.
we don't need many of these.
What do you mean, Star Wars Legion launch kit? They won't need that.
We did just recently get our... Actually, here's exciting news. I'm using our launch kit from March that we just got in for a tournament this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, we just got our March
Launch kit. We
We
just
Yeah.
fucking did.
They're finally here, just about 4 months later than we wanted.
Yay, Fantasy Flight.
I'm hoping
love it.
soon our Q1 tournament kit will be available to order.
Spoiler alert, I ordered tournament kits today. It's not in there.
No, I didn't figure it was.
Shocko.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Well, we've been away for a while. We've got a lot to talk about.
We do.
I have a lot of myself to share with you.
Yeah.
So, luckily, it's a radio show.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Let's
you're
get right
running
to it.
against the
Yes.
microphone.
Right.
The big news is Age of Sigmar.
Are we start with the big news?
Yep,
I like
we're
to
starting.
build up. Were you just gonna have me blow the load right away?
We're gonna blow a load.
Oh, I thought we were
This
gonna
is
slowly
like
work
one
up.
of those pornos where we just go straight into the money shots.
Ooh, it's like
there's no lead
we
up.
Tarantino
there's no,
it.
yeah, right. It's the money shot, and then it fades to black, and it goes 3 minutes earlier.
That's what this is.
And everyone's like, how did we get here? Let's find
Right,
out.
and like just so you know, like a minute 45 of that 3 minutes is just them taking their clothes off.
Just imagine like you
and
walked
talking
into
about
a
the
scene.
pizza
Yeah.
that was brought.
Like Kyle's dead and his head's on a table and everyone else is like raped to death. And then 3 minutes earlier and you're like, how the hell did we get to that? Because we're just sitting here calmly.
things got so dark so
There's 2
quickly.
people in elf costumes.
It's like a
fucking-
DC movie.
I've always wanted to be decapitated if I was going to be killed violently.
I half expected when we were in Omaha at that house that I would
The
find your head on
murder
the
house.
table in the morning.
I thought I was
really
going to be
did.
killed in
In
the tub.
Wait,
the tub or the dress room.
Oh, the dress room is really.
I thought maybe we'd come down there and you're like half in a dress, dead.
we'll talk about we'll talk about Nana's murder house more later
Okay.
because it's definitely a story I want to tell.
the imagery is just
We'll get there. It's fucking ultra cringy.
And the stairway that smelled like death.
It smelled like literally. Okay, so we're gonna get on a tangent here. Shocker, I know. It's real surprising, guys. I have had the misfortune of smelling a dead human body once in my life, and the only other time I've ever smelled something even remotely similar was at that house. And it was in one. It was so fucking weird, you guys. It was in one spot in the whole house, and it was at the first landing of the staircase. It smelled like the last. And this is really morbid, so spoiler, but it smells like the dying, death rattle breath of a human being. Because I have had the misfortune of smelling that once before in my life, yeah.
And of course, your room was nearest to that.
And my room was closest to it, yeah, the plaid room. My
plaid
room was
room.
the plaid room. And
But nobody could
fuck,
do
was that
Nana's
creepy.
room.
No one could stay in Nana's room because that was literally I called it Nana's room because it looks like the room where my grandmother passed away.
Yeah.
Like it had the same amount of furniture.
I was
It
worried
really
in that room
weird.
if you stayed in there, like you'd wake up and there's this old lady standing at the end of your bed, like staring at you angrily.
Right, my Nana would be staring at me disapprovingly. She'd be like, "You haven't even gone to church once since I passed away." Like that'd be like really depressing, and I'd feel really guilty. Like, "I'm sorry, Nana." She's like, "You have not been to communion or confession."
If you die now, it's straight to hell,
Right,
baby
if-
Kyle.
Right, exactly. Like, you'd be taken in Satan's grasp if you died tonight. Like, I'm sorry, Nana.
She's like, with how I'm feeling, you might.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
We wonder why Kyle ran off in the middle of the night to find the nearest church.
I thought at some point maybe like one of us would like bolt screaming out of the house naked and just run down the street and I'd be like, "It's happening."
Into the trailer park.
Into the trailer park. Man, okay, we got it. Let's get through. Let's blow our load on Age of Sigmar, and then
we'll come back
We'll
to
get
this,
back
'cause
to
this
this
is gold.
because it's a good story.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. So, Age of Sigmar.
Soul
Soul Wars.
Soul Wars, yep. Age of Sigmar Soul Wars is what they're calling the new edition. If you haven't heard of Age of Sigmar Soul Wars, I highly recommend that you look for a new place to stay instead of that cave in Tora Bora. You should definitely get out of Afghanistan. It's not a nice place, I've heard.
It's not.
But for the rest of us in civilized land who have heard about Age of Sigmar Soul Wars, holy shit, Knuckles, it looks so fucking good. Like, I am super duper pumped.
Sorry.
You're good.
I came home from Kansas with all these mosquito bites and they are itching like crazy. So
For all our viewers at home, I just was distracted by watching Drew hike up his...
He's like rubbing
his-
ointment on his inner thigh,
like
and
his
we're
inner
all
thigh,
staring
we're all
at it.
just like,
I was like, what?
I got itchies.
He's
man.
like, thank God this ain't TV.
I think the nature of the show is shifting.
The amount of things we can get done because there isn't a camera. Age of Sigmar Soul Wars. New edition of Age of Sigmar. It's been out for 3 years, and it is exploding in popularity. We have, like, as of right now, we have 18 or 19 people who have pre-ordered the General's Handbook. We have, I think, 15 people who have pre-ordered starter sets. Like, this is going to be a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big release.
If you are even at all on the fence about getting into Age of Sigmar, let me just say by like my first thing right now, it's hands down my favorite miniatures game out there. I'm a big 40K guy, but I've always been a bigger Warhammer Fantasy guy, and Age of Sigmar is
This is
Warhammer
like
Fantasy.
feels like a return to the golden age of fantasy to me.
It does,
really
it
does.
feels like it. Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on the head. It's very reminiscent to me of like 5th or 6th, or sorry, not 5th or 6th, 6th or 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy, like where it was really kind of hitting its stride. And it's
GW, I think they're really taking the story and background to a new level that was lacking in the first edition. If you haven't had a chance, there's a 12-minute video with Phil Kelly where it's exploring the Mortal Realms. It's really good. Go watch it.
And I think it's really important for them to expand on that base lore.
They have to.
Because it's really cool. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely check it out. And there's a lot of like fluff to Age of Sigmar that I think has just been under promoted. Like the entire Realmgate Wars series. I know you've read it.
Yes.
I've read it. It's pretty damn good.
It's really good. It's actually very
all
good
of
fantasy.
all of the Manfred von Karstein stuff.
I'd have to share real quick one of my favorite new pieces of the fluff is that you learn about this in the video that Manfred von Karstein, he essentially creates in the realm of death his own
I heard that.
Sylvania, like where the vampire counts were, and he creates his own fake court. Like
Yeah, he made
brings back
Vlad
the
and Isabella.
Yeah, he brings Vlad and Isabella von Karstein back as doppelgangers just to be like, so he'd have rivals in his court.
Yeah, and Crazy Conrad.
Yeah,
and
Crazy
he makes
Conrad.
them all like bow to him, and he's like, this is trivial and boring.
So he gets bored and he abdicates and it's like, I'm going to go do bigger, better things, and leaves
Yeah.
like his fake Sylvania kingdom behind. I love that.
Because, as we all know, everyone in the Death Realms are basically just fucking nanners.
They are.
They're all super eccentric and crazy. Like, if you feel like you need to play an army that's not in touch with reality whatsoever, play any of the Death armies because they are just bananas. They're all crazy as shit, and it's really fantastic.
Then we have a new Stormcast chamber, which is pretty cool.
Oh, the Sacrosanct Chamber.
Sacrosancts, the hell I can.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you haven't seen the commercial about like the very first spoiler for Age of Sigmar 2, like it's basically like some Stormcaster turn is like, my Lord Sigmar, you can't solve all of your problems by opening new chambers, and he's all like, the hell I can't, and like smashes a big button. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like GW is like the sort of like first love you've ever had. And she's super into you. Mm-hmm. She's super into you, and things are going well. Like it's exciting. It's really fun.
It is exciting.
Yeah,
that normally never happens.
Yeah, right. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen that way, guys.
Doesn't happen to me.
Spoiler alert.
So we have
Life lesson.
We have a ton pre-ordered, And
We do.
we order it now. When does it actually get to
So
the shop?
it actually full release, guys, is on June 30th. But if you're like me, I can't wait for full release. So June 29th, we're actually going to do a midnight release, so technically still June 30th, but I like to think that it's
Those
still
are
the day
so
before.
fun.
I love midnight releases because to me it's still the same day because I haven't had a sleep yet.
It's like Christmas, man.
Yeah, right? It's good stuff, man. So we're going to do a midnight release. If you come in to pick up any of your pre-orders during the midnight release, we're going to enter you into a drawing to win some cool prizes we'll give away to people who are at the midnight pre-release. Sorry, not pre-release, but the midnight release. So definitely recommend checking that out. I mean, it's going to be good, right? We're calling this the Summer of Sigmar. Not to be confused with the Summer of Sam. Slightly different.
Yeah. Similar feel, slightly different.
Similar amounts of murder, but one's more fun.
And the new Night Haunts we have to just mention.
The new Night Haunts make me so happy, angry, and sad and excited at the same time because I don't want a new army, but I need that new army.
So
bad.
I'm going to be starting the Night Haunts.
I think everyone is.
Well, what it is I'm starting it, and I'm air quoting. It's really my wife who's starting it. She caught a peek because she was on my Facebook, like on my page, and I had shared something about the new Age of Sigmar, and she was like, "Wait, there's ghosts?" I was like, "Yeah," and they're actually gonna have a big release. And I showed her some, and she's like, "We're buying all of it." I was like, "Yay, bank account!" Yeah. I was like, but I've been trying to get her into Age of Sigmar, and she's hasn't been wowed by any of the factions yet. And then she saw these, and she's super excited.
If you are not a big miniature wargamer and you're looking to get into miniature war games, like legit get into some real big games, this is the one, guys. Mm-hmm. Everyone is starting out at the same level right now. It's a very accessible game, and it's not a super complex game. Like it's not. It's pretty straightforward.
The complexity comes not from the main rule set, but from the armies themselves.
Yeah, the complexity is in how you build your army and like what kind of combinations you put in.
And there's armies that are more complex than others, for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like Daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain,
are really complex, yeah.
But things like the starter set stuff, like your Stormcast Eternals and your Night Haunts, they're going to be pretty straightforward armies.
Like
they're
playing orcs.
Playing orcs, super duper straightforward. Like you like big monster things that smash things to death. Orcs, you're going to have a good time with that. Like it's a good time to get into it. I'm so excited. Like I genuinely have like super Christmas feel right now where I cannot sleep. Like every night I'm like, why isn't it June 30th? Why isn't it June 30th? I'm like counting down the days.
You're
waiting for all
you
the
want to
new
be
toys.
Cartman and like go into the future.
I know we were
Time Child,
right? Yeah, TC baby. We were supposed to have our demo kit already for this, and like our GW rep called today and was like, "You guys, how's your demo kit going?" And I was like, "It's still not here." And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Matt, I don't fuck around about new release." Yeah. I was like, I don't know if you. I was like, I know we've only been working together for like a month, Matt, but I don't fuck around with my new toys. And I was like, overnight that shit, and he was like, I'm overnighting it right now, and I was like, I know. I was like, get it going. And I was like, I want my shit. I want to be like, yeah, man, I want to fucking start demoing that thing because those models are so insanely good looking, and they're easy to assemble models.
And
do you need someone to help paint the?
Do I need someone
or want?
Do I want to share the glory of painting these models? No, but yes, I will help. I will ask for help
because I've been on a huge
painting team. If you ask me nicely.
Your tournament painting team. I think I could just say, does anybody want to help paint these? And people would jump at the chance because they're so pretty. Yeah, they're so good looking, man. Great minis. Cool. I'm super pumped.
I've been on a huge
I can't tell.
Kick, so.
I know, right? Yeah, I don't seem like I'm excited at all. It's definitely not the thing that I've been looking forward to the most for the past month.
So I think the next thing I want to mention is Imperial Knights.
Imperial Knights.
Imperial Knights came out, and even though we've been on about Age of Sigmar, we have to at least mention the Knights because they're really cool.
It was like a nice side diversion. Like, hey, we know you're waiting for Age of Sigmar, but
have these.
I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but they released Imperial Knights for me. Because I love giant fucking robots. They were like, we know you're super excited about AOS, but it's going to take some more time. Here, champ, here's some robots in the meantime. And I was like, big robots? Like, if anything can get me distracted from all the fantasy sword and board action, it's big fucking robots.
You know, they kept mostly the same fluff. They've tailored it a little bit.
I like they kind of, right? I feel like they went in and, like, the fluff was already good looking. They've just polished it and buffed it in areas and just slightly, you know, maybe given it a couple different facets to it. But
the new Little Knights actually got really good. The Helvrins and
both
the Warblades are both good.
Yeah, they're both really good. I like if you bought Armored or Warglaves and were like me, disappointed in their crazy points cost.
3 months, yeah.
Good news, they're like literally half the points cost. They went down 90 points.
Yeah, they're really good now.
Oh my god, they're crazy good now. I think they're one of the things that you will see taken in a lot of armies. Like they're genuinely very good.
I played one game with them against Elder, and naturally I still lost, and it was Nick. You know who you are, Nick. And
you know what you did.
You know what you've done. But the Armigers were really good. The Helverins put out the great auto 4d3 strength 7 Ren -2 3 damage.
1.
What's that? Is it?
No, it's Ren -2.
It's Ren -2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got extra rend over the regular autocannon.
Yeah, just
and
welcome
extra,
to murder face and extra damage.
Extra damage and extra rend, yeah. D3 shots, AP -2, 3 damage.
And you got 4d3.
So
2d3 shots.
Yeah, 2d3 shots.
But you have 2 guns.
Yeah.
So 43 total shots between.
So if you have 3
and they move 14 inches. The little knights, the little warglaive now, he can run in and just do 8 little attacks as he's literally cutting people in 2 with his little chainsaw. That's
basically
cool.
He can like shithouse a whole squad of dudes now, which is nice.
The new giant knights, the Castellan and the Valiant. The Valiant, he has a flamer that range 18 does 3d6 auto hits, strength 7, Ren -2, 2 damage, just like. Eat this barbecue.
If you know anything about me, you know that my favorite kind of weapon is a flamethrower because it dispenses fiery hot death at range. Mm-hmm. But they were like, no, wait, there's more. It also comes with a colossal fucking harpoon gun. And if there's anything else I like, it's really impractical weapons. Like, here's a colossal harpoon gun and a flamethrower. I was like, yeah, I'll take 4. Thanks. I would, yes, please. Can I have 2 harpoon guns?
But they gave each of the Night Houses rules, which are good. But where they really shine are their stratagems.
Oh,
They're just great. Death Grip's my favorite.
Dude, Chuck a Dude is pretty great.
Yeah, basically they have a stratagem called Death Grip. And it's this, you use the big fist, which also there's a special weapon fist called the Freedom Fist.
The Freedom Fist is the best name ever.
The Freedom Fist is the best.
You get a Freedom Fisting.
You got a Freedom Fisting.
Yeah, a Freedom Fisting, dude.
The Freedom Fist always does 8
like
damage.
Donald Trump.
I really want to take the Freedom Fist to Adepticon next year and bring it to the French Canadians.
Yeah, like, here's a
I'm
Freedom
going to be like, here you go, you bunch of fucking surrender monkeys. Freedom Fist. Yeah!
Freedom Fist
That's
while I
like
eat my
Trump
Freedom
walking in and
Fries.
uppercutting you right in the butt.
Basically, yeah.
It's like but you have a stratagem you can spend also called the Death Grip. So after you fight with it, you spend a command point, and you keep rolling a dice and your opponent does, adding your strength. And if you keep winning, you keep doing an additional D3 mortal wounds as you literally squeeze your target to death, and you do it until they die or they break the Death Grip.
Yeah, until they die or one of you reaches the most gushy orgasm ever. That's really what it is. God damn, I cannot stop thinking about, like, watching an Imperial Knight literally strangle Gilliman
to death.
And his face is turning blue and his eyes are all red and bloodshot. They're popping out of his skull. And you're just like,
He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall Arnold. He's just screaming like, oh my god.
You have
so good.
You have another one called Valiant Last Stand that lets you fight or shoot one full knight when he dies before he's removed.
Or if you're House Tyrannus, you just bring your knight back.
Yeah, the Martian House, you can spend one where he comes back to life with 1 wound. Yeah, after
so
he dies.
delicious.
Anyway, we could do a whole episode on knights if I'm not careful.
They make me feel funny in my pants.
It's fantastic though.
Lots of good GW stuff happening.
Lots of really good. The GW is starting off. This is Q1 for GW right now. Their fiscal year's in June, and they're just like literally fucking June to death. Yeah, they're gonna fuck June until its soul leaves its body. Because they're like, you want fucking cool toys? Here's some fucking cool toys.
They're doing so good. They have a 7 mil. I mean, it doesn't sound that much when you split up among everybody, but they had an extra 7 million pounds. They're like, let's split this up among staff for a bonus. Like, that's how you know they're doing okay.
Sure.
Right.
You know where we don't get 7 million pound bonuses, Drew? The state
of Wyoming.
You know where I was going?
Yeah. Womp womp.
We might have billions in a savings account, but ain't none of that coming to us.
So in D&D news,
okay,
they did the Stream of Many Eyes a couple weeks ago, which was a 3-day streaming event.
I always feel like the Stream of Many Eyes, like for whatever reason, every time I hear the name, I always imagine myself in a bathroom stall with no door and like people standing in a line watching. And I'm just like, I can't go if you all watch. I only want one of you to watch at a time.
There's a whole line
Well,
of
it's
people
one
like,
beholder.
hurry up, we have to go too.
It's just one beholder watching you. With his
If it's one beholder
9
watching me,
eyes.
then I'm okay with it. But if it's like 4 beholders watching me, then I can't go.
Yeah. So I watched some of it. Some of it was cool. They had you'll appreciate this, Big Swole. They had the Jox Machina.
Jox Machina. Have you heard of Vox Machina?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. This is your story.
So Vox Machina is the group that Matt Mercer had for Campaign 1. That's what they called their adventuring party, was Vox Machina.
Yeah.
Jox Machina, they are all like, all the players in the group are like big, muscle-bound...
Like Joe Manganiello, The Big Show.
Yeah, The Big Show played.
What? Yeah, who else was in that?
Trent Williamson from Critical Role, the big guy who plays Goliath. And another guy, I don't remember his name, but he's like a personal trainer to the stars.
Yeah, they're all like big dudes, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
hell
it's
yeah.
Jox
And
Machina.
they all played tanks in this one adventure.
Yo.
It's like
I'm
this-
super excited to see that.
Yeah, so it's out on YouTube's if you go and find that.
You could call it swole playing, if you will.
Ah,
Make
yes.
a joke, he's a funny.
So it was kind of neat.
I thought Kyle didn't pun.
I you know what? Generally speaking, I fucking hate puns. They do piss me off, but
lowest
every
form
once
of humor.
they are the lowest form of comedy.
Yeah.
And I know there's like 3 or 4 of you out there like and like thinking about a pun right now. Feel bad about that shit you're thinking about right now because it's stupid. It's the worst form of comedy. But every once in a while, like everyone else, I make a bad decision and I make a pun.
And you laugh over it.
And I laugh over it.
You can't fight natural human emotions.
So during this,
I love it.
This
super
3-day
excited.
streaming thing, that was just one.
It was a one-off.
Probably.
What?
I think they've done it once before. So there might be an older one you can go find, but I know the Big Show wasn't in the first one. This is the first time they got a pro wrestler to play D&D.
Dude, hell yeah.
on camera.
Hell yeah.
So
Did you know Vin Diesel plays D&D?
I did.
He's super happy.
He
about
also
it, too.
has a Dean Diesel thing.
Yeah.
With Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
It was like for Witcher. You remember that time when Vin Diesel was in The Witcher?
he was in a
no,
movie
you don't
that
because the
wasn't
movie
a
sucked
Fast
balls.
and Furious movie.
Yeah.
So
I saw The
they
Witcher.
also...
I'm not saying that people didn't see it. I'm just saying that it was not well received.
I think I lasted about 30 minutes and I shut it off.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. It's gotta be real bad for me.
They
Yeah,
also
you
announced
are
2 books.
actually you have a lot of fortitude when it comes to movies.
do.
Because like you will watch a movie that most people would be like, nope, and like, this is one of the things I love about CJ. CJ's a very optimistic person, and like he will be like, find the gem in this thing.
I will.
He'll find the one good part of the movie. It's a super redeeming quality in my opinion. Because I am not that guy. Like if I'm watching a shitty movie, I'm like, that fucking sucks.
The most
I'm
recent
out.
one I couldn't finish watching was Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Sure.
I don't even know that was a
Can't
movie.
imagine why.
It is basically literally these donuts get flung at people, and where the hole is, of course, this like mouth shoots out, and so like this donuts would come at you, right, and just be like, "Brr," and like start eating through your arm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Attack the Killer. You can defeat them by eating them too, but if you're
So
distracted,
I would
because
be
they're
a
eating
god
you-
in this world. Be like, people are like, no, there's donuts killing us now. I'd be like, all right.
Is that on Netflix?
You're like, my time is come.
No.
I'll come out of retirement to save the world again.
One more
Knock
time.
off streaming service.
You just see Kyle loosening his belt one notch,
Right.
pulling on the, yeah,
Right.
It's like,
buying a 3X shirt. Let's do this world.
I imagine.
Right. It's gotta get the 3X on. That's my eating shirt.
I imagine CJ watching a crappy movie. He's like saying to himself, "Oh, not all of it can be bad. Like maybe he'll get
Some
better
redeeming
towards the
quality
end."
in this pile of
He's
shit.
like,
One of the worst movies
maybe
I've
later.
ever seen of all time was this movie about a space prison in orbit. And for whatever reason, the President of the United States decides to fly up there to visit an inmate.
And his daughter gets kidnapped?
No, well, there's no... Because there's no phones. But,
Well, of course, it's space prison. Why would you want to phone?
Oh, fuck, you're right. His daughter does get kidnapped.
Yeah, because this is... that movie,
Yeah.
so that movie is actually a ripoff of Snake Plissken Escape from New York.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same plot. In fact, they actually got sued by John Carpenter, and they got fucking taken to the cleaners by John
Well,
Carpenter.
I don't think John
They sued
Carpenter
them.
got anything because it probably
No,
lost
he
money.
got a bunch of money.
Because
He sued the shit out of those guys. That's why they made no money.
It was... Oh, God. And there's a thing where the Secret Service... They go to the prison, and and I work in a prison. They're like, you can't have your gun, Secret Service, and they're like, it's okay, we're with the president. They're like, well, okay, then go ahead.
Right? Oh, well, now that you mention it,
And
go
then-
ahead and break the rules.
Sure enough, one of those inmates gets the gun,
Con Air.
and shoots the
Con Air. I've seen this movie.
Yeah, and shoots the thing, and it sucks out the Secret Service,
Put the bunny down.
and then
put the bunny back.
Right, like this shitty accent that he has.
Of course, like there's an inmate on the space station who was like ex special forces that was wrongfully convicted.
Right.
And
that's definitely also Con Air.
That's Con Air too.
Well, no, so that's also Escape from Snake Plissken, right? Was there a super duper psychopath like in that movie who's
There
like,
sure was.
they got the whole world in his hands. He
Steve
got
Buscemi's
the whole...
character.
right.
There was a pretty crazy psychopath, and eventually the president somehow escapes in an escape pod, some fucking crazy thing, and so this guy like rides the space station back down through orbit with the president's daughter, and they're fine.
Yeah.
And I finished that movie. I was like, that was really bad. Pretty bad.
He still finished the movie.
Yeah, I did. I stayed.
He's like, surely it all can't be this bad.
CJ's like, this is the video equivalent of pushing rope, but I'm gonna finish.
Have you ever walked out of a movie?
No,
I definitely have walked out of a couple.
Walked out of a movie ever.
Which
So, 2 movies. I walked out of Saw the Whatevereth movie. Like, I don't know. It was one of them past 3. Because I was like, nah, this is just fucking dumb. And I walked out of In the Name of the King. And I really liked In the Name of the King is Jason Statham. And then the only other actor I remember is Ray Liotta, and Ron Perlman is in it because Ron Perlman's in every movie. But Ray Liotta is the main bad guy. Jason Statham is the main good guy. And it is a dungeon siege movie. And if you know what dungeon siege is, then fucking when you see me next, give me a crisp high five. I don't know why. I like dungeon siege.
Dungeon Siege.
Yeah, right? Like... Yeah. So I went and saw the movie.
It was the first video game where there was no transitions. You walked into a building and there was no like loading.
What was
time.
the premise of the movie, Kev?
So the premise of the movie, and forgive me if I get it wrong, but it's been a while. The premise of the movie is basically there's this guy who is the son of the king, but he doesn't know he's the son of the king, and he's living like a life. And his village gets attacked by Ray Liotta because Ray Liotta is evil, and wants to do whatever Ray Liotta evil shit. Right. And basically, Jason Statham realizes, like, through some travels that he's the king's son, and, like, he's gonna go fight Ray Liotta, because Ray Liotta. And, yeah.
So where does Ron Perlman come in?
Ron Perlman is Jason Statham's, like, pretend dad.
Okay.
And he dies in the first, like, 5 minutes or something like that. Right,
Do you think in Hollywood, like, anytime they're not sure who to put in a position,
they
they're
just
like,
cast Ron Perlman. Yeah.
They're
like, they call him up, and his agent's like, yeah, he's available.
like, I could squeeze him in Tuesday if you got the time.
Yeah, right? Like, he's only got to be in it for, what, like 3 scenes? Okay, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, he can do that.
It's like,
Ryan,
I can squeeze him in.
The last one, I'm going to catch crap for it because everyone loves this movie, but I hate this movie terribly, is Avatar.
Here we go. Oh, Avatar?
I walked out of Avatar.
How do you hate Dances with Wolves?
It's Space Pocahontas.
It's Dances with Wolves.
It's also Space Pocahontas.
It's just Dances with Wolves.
I'm watching the movie. I'm like, this movie's bullshit.
Space Tatanka, Ryan.
Look, I like Dances with Wolves.
It's the same movie.
I'm aware. It's also the same movie as Pocahontas too.
But the end battle scene's so good.
Did I ever tell you how I should have wrote Avatar and how it would have been a much better movie, and it also would have only lasted 30 minutes?
Okay,
Straight
let's
up.
hear the
Yeah,
plot.
no, for sure. I had to take a drink.
Now we gotta know.
Okay, so they find, like, you know, I'm gonna glass over a couple bits, right? They find Space Planet, and, like, you know, it's got unobtainium, which fucking best name for a mineral ever. It's unobtainable. It's unobtainium. So it makes Mark Watkins really bad.
Look, when they said that shit, dude, I rolled my eyes so hard it made a noise.
So they find the unobtainium, and they're like, oh, but there's these natives here, and they're in our way. And they're like, we'll send in a peacekeeping mission. And, like, Ripley goes down to the planet because she knows how to deal with aliens and shit. And she's talking to him. Well, I would have gone down, like, the Colonel, right, would have been the main character. Not, like, Sam Worthington is not in the movie. He's just not in the movie because he's a cripple and they don't need him. I'm sorry.
Stephen Long. He would have been your hero.
Right, yeah.
He was the hero
He was the hero in my mind.
He was battling against the alien horde.
Yeah, he's defending humans. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Of course he was a hero.
Filthy, like, stupid 9-foot-tall cat people.
Just like the Emperor, he fell to treachery at the end.
So they go down, and like, the Colonel goes down, and he takes, like, a pretty reasonable amount of stuff, right? And they're kind of probing the aliens' strength and weaknesses, and he's just like, yeah, it looks like they're, 9 foot tall, they've got bows and arrows and spears like the size of a telephone pole, all kinds of, like, crazy shit, and, like, pterodactyls and shit. And they're like, well, what do you need to get the job done, Colonel? And he would just be like, well, you remember those robot walkers we have with the 20mm Bushmaster cannons? Yeah, give me about 6 dozen of those. And, why don't you give me about 4 level bombers, 15 close air support fighter craft. and well, let's just say conservatively 300,000 gallons of napalm. and that was like the movie. Like basically, they would launch a sustained, they would launch a sustained air bombing campaign against the tree people, level bombing them with space B-52s.
And you cut them down with like Bushmasters as they're coming out of the burning jungle.
Not even that, right? Like so, you get the level bombing going to really shake things up. Then you come in with the Agent Orange napalm, like fuel air thermite combo, right? You burn. Just here's you need a defoliating. Okay, if you've seen Avatar, you know you need a defoliating agent. And I'm imagining in the future, I'm not guaranteeing because it's still space America. I'm imagining in the future we have a cure for cancer.
Yeah.
Right? We may not have a cure for cancer, or they may not be able to afford it. That's a different movie. Yeah. Right? That's the sad movie later, right? Sequel. But in my movie, they do level bombing, which opens up a lot of the tree homes, right? And then the defoliating agents, and then the napalm thermite plasma combo, which literally incinerates the majority, right? So at the very end, we basically have, because again, the unobtainium is all we're here for, and it's not something you can melt, and it's not something you can blow up with a bomb. So it is effectively it's impervious to anything I'm going to use. So basically, at the end of the movie, we've got a bunch of charred fucking Na'vi, and they're all like burnt up and like dying of really horrible cancer, and they've been inhaling a lot of asphyxiating toxic gas. And you just have like the 3 dozen of these Bushmaster armed robot dudes like walking around the jungle, like, oh, there's one. Because I can tell you right now that there is no combination of bone, wicker, fucking plant armor, and Na'vi flesh that's going to stop a goddamn 20mm Bushmaster. Them sons of bitches go through just about anything. Those sons of Bushmaster can go through a cinder block wall and 4 Iraqis at one time. All right, so ain't nothing the Na'vi have is going to stop that.
And then the Colonel gets a medal.
Yeah, he gets a fucking medal, and he gets the first mansion on right?
foreign planet.
Exactly, he gets a lakeside mansion on the floating island mountains or whatever.
For our last bit of this rant, because this has been a great rant.
Sure.
Do you remember when you and I went and saw Valorian in the city?
Oh my god, that movie's so fucking horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. We stayed, but
he's like, god damn it. The whole thing makes me so mad.
Was the fishing scene?
Yeah, right.
Where where do we start?
The whole fucking thing makes me angry. The whole fucking he's just like. He's come up with like the main
What's
general.
What's the actual name? Valerian and the.
No, those guys are also not the main characters. It's
whatever.
It's Clive Owen's general character. He's the main character. Yeah. And the whole story is, again, I'm writing the story again, right? Like, he's like, oh, I've really fucked up, and these like weird jizz shooting people are like, their guns shoot shit that looks like jizz, man. I don't know what you want.
You get hit with like a white blob of goo.
Yeah, and it's super sticky and you can't move. It's all over you and it's in
basically
your hair.
Think getting hit with a giant wad and you just freeze in place.
Yeah. Well, he's like, oh man, they're on the station and I committed all these war crimes. And he's like, what do I do? And like in their movie, he comes up with this really fucking stupid, convoluted plan, and then he sends in the K-Tron robots.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? I would have started with the K-Tron. He's like, they're basically unstoppable murder machines that follow only my order. Like, literally no one's even watching what they do. I'm like, all right, just send 5 K-Trons down there and kill all those fucking space savages. Nailed it. Like, mission accomplished, and you have the little gerbil that shits pearls. Like
the pearl shitting gerbil.
God damn it, that's so infuriating.
It's this little like space creature, and it like makes a little poo face, then a little pearl.
Yeah, like out. whatever you feed it or whatever, it just like starts shitting that stuff out. Like, first of all, every time it does it, someone is holding it. It is shitting on you. All right.
And
I get that really it's valuable, but it's shitting on you, and it looks like it's getting off.
And they're valuable or something?
Well, obviously, if you fed... What? Okay, so think of it this way.
This is so crazy, you should watch it just for giggles.
If you fed your pug a diamond and he started shitting out a ton of diamonds, would you consider him valuable?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, so that's what it is. But think of it, it's the last pug that shits diamonds. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's the last one. And there are no more pugs that shit diamonds.
The bumble fights...
Oh my god! Yeah, there's like a whole race of Jessies.
God,
they're all like, they're making dumb noises and shit.
And they have to battle him with a sword.
Yeah, there's so many things in that movie that are just like, what the fuck?
I love where
first of all, if you worked on Valerian, will you please get in contact with me? Because I'd like to find out where you buy your drugs, because they're way more potent than what we have here in town. And I'm just looking for a good time.
The scene where there's like a bumble alien fishing, and it hooks Valerian and pulls him up on the fishing line, and then he just blows its head off. Because like it's smiling at him, just like, boom.
Yeah, he's like, I caught you and I'm going to eat you. I'm going to have my way with you, little flesh man. Like, it's such a weird movie.
I've never seen anything like it.
If you haven't seen Valerian, I highly recommend watching it, but only if you're inebriated.
So here's what it is. It's frankly a fantastic like Sunday afternoon. There's nothing else on TV, and I need a laugh. Like that's where
you're like painting and you want to not pay attention to a story. Because if you watch Valerian in like random 3-minute scenes, like it would probably be okay. Yeah. But if you watch it as a story,
there's some fun effects and pretty scenes.
It's not that the movie is unaesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
it's that there is whatever the reverse of a story.
It's just a shit show of a story.
Yeah, it's like basically somebody like kind of took every storyboard ever and then just put them into a blender and like shook that shit out.
It was like the new Transformers where there were like 9 movies
in
one.
No, but Transformers was 5 cohesive movies.
My favorite movie was the medieval one.
I like the medieval one too because I like Stanley Tucci as Drunk Merlin. If ever I could have a wizard who was my guide, if ever I could have a wizard who was my guide, it would be Drunk Merlin Stanley Tucci,
who's like belching.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's just like, oh, just one more drink for the road. Like, fuck yeah, Stanley Tucci, you just tie one on, buddy. Like, I fucking love it. You're a great Merlin.
So maybe what we need to do is start a separate podcast that just reviews movies.
we could definitely do that.
Yeah,
we could have a movie reviewing podcast.
YouTube, like us watching movies, and it's just us shitting on movies.
Ooh, like riff tracks.
That would be a good one to start with Valerian.
Valerian?
Yeah.
Fuck me, man. I'm sure it's illegal. I'm sure we couldn't do that, right? Or maybe we could. I don't know. Oh, no, we could do a reaction, right? So, like, as long as we're not showing us we can show us watching it, just not the movie itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be funny.
I just show the movie too,
Start
right?
The movie
it's
now.
all. The thing is, until someone complains, you're fine. That's always my approach in the legal world.
Until we get caught, we're
until
okay.
You're arrested or somebody actually files a formal complaint, and just be like, "Here's the defense that works every time." My bad, I won't do it again.
I think I walked out of The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2.
Oh, did you?
And I walked out of Wing Commander. I don't know if you guys
remember.
Wing Commander? Wing Commander?
Dudes.
Oh my god, are you why? Because you're a Kilrathi sympathizer? If you guys didn't know this, Drew's a fucking Kilrathi sympathizer. God, I bet you're a pilgrim too, aren't you?
Young when that came out.
I bet you're a pilgrim too, aren't you? Fucking pilgrims, man.
Die.
Yeah.
It's like, what do we do, sir? We die.
Who's the guy
that's
in
the
that
Last
movie?
Starfighter, isn't it?
No,
that's Wing Commander.
That's Wing Commander. Well, no, maybe
it's Last Starfighter.
Wing Commander's with the super 90s crew, right? There's like
Freddie Prinze Jr.'s.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. It's like the most 90s looking cast you could get. Yes. They have like ultra 90s haircuts, and there's like a biracial romance. It's like really edgy because it's 1998 or something. Like, woo! Like now it would be like, oh, whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Like back then, the movie was banned in Mississippi.
Yeah, right. rural parts of Alabama couldn't show it or pronounce its name. Like, yeah, it's a thing.
So back to D&D.
Okay.
Yeah, D&D. That's how we started this conversation.
So they announced.
We got off track there.
What the?
Wait, it's our thing.
It's like when we record this, it's like one continual fucking Family Guy cutaway because like we're like remember that one time we went to the zoo and it like turns out like we're talking about like really weird fucking BDSM shows at the end of it.
Right?
Like it's super odd.
So they announced 2 books.
Yeah.
One's coming out in August at Gen Con, and the other November, I think. But they're both. This is kind of like what they did with the Dragon stories.
Yeah.
This is 2 books. The first book is like level 1 through 5, and then the next book is 6 through 20. Which is the first time they've gone that far or that high in levels. But,
no, I think Horde of the Dragon Queen goes to 20, right?
I don't think so. I think
it goes from 1 to 5 and then 6 to 20 even. Or it goes 1 to 10 and then 10 to 20.
I don't know.
I mean, it's in all fairness, it's been years, right?
Yeah,
like it's been 4 years, so I don't really remember.
So
for sure.
The first book is I don't have the names of them. They both take place in Waterdeep, but the first book is a heist kind of movie type of adventure.
I'm excited to watch people bumble their way through that.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of cool. There's 4 main villains in it.
Right.
And depending on what season you are running the campaign, whether it be summer, spring, autumn, or winter, is who the villain is. So you could essentially run this thing 4 times and have a different experience.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
And they're all quintessential characters from D&D. Their Manshun is one of them. Jarl Axel is another, and these are all villains from the lore. Which is interesting. I didn't know this, but a year ago, WotC stopped all fiction from being written about D&D. So
really,
I I don't know what they're doing. Some people are saying that
Fun police.
they're
Sorry.
they're gearing up for a movie, maybe kind of stuff.
Fuck me, man. Who isn't gearing up for a movie?
Do you think we could get another one with like Jeremy Ironsides? That kind of weird. Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I got a tangent.
All right, go.
I love the D&D movies.
Yes.
They're my guilty pleasure. I love. I am Damodar. I'm like, yeah, baby. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've watched
Where
those.
he's got the staff at the end.
Yeah,
Fireballs.
if you watch the second D&D movie, it has the best commentary you will ever. I'm not a commentary guy. I'm not like a Cyril Figgis kind of dude. I will watch that movie with commentary because the commentary is done by Josen, Lida, and Krusk from D&D 3rd edition.
Really?
Literally, the commentary is literally done in character.
Huh.
And it has nothing to do with the actual making of the movie. It's basically them just being like, oh, we'd be better at adventuring than these fucking guys. Like, oh, look at that. That's dumb. Like, it's so good. They're terrible movies. And it's unfortunate, but they are a lot of fun, especially because I feel like they're representative of what actual D&D is like. Because, you know, Lord of the Rings is what D&D wants to be. The D&D movies is what it really is, because it's like some, you know, like, here's a dangerous plot, and then someone's like, yeah, but I do this goofy thing instead. Like, it's just goofy shit, right?
It's
like,
true.
Literally, like, who's the hero in the first D&D? It's like two fucking terrible thieves. They're like shitty at being thieves.
Yeah.
Like, we're the heroes.
Yeah, like
It's
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans is a hero. Oh boy. Yeah, but no, they're, if you haven't watched them,
It was like the incompetent wizard. Was it the sorceress that was like incompetent or not very good?
in which one?
The first one. Because didn't he break into like a sorcerer's tower, a magic
Yeah,
tower?
he does.
The
No,
thief.
she's not bad. She's like the whatever, like the princess. She just doesn't have a lot.
We should
of
watch
magic.
that and do a commentary.
She
too.
gets cool. Yeah, right. That'd be fucking funny. She gets like cool ultra wizard powers when she gets her scepter. It's the queen or whatever, the princess. One of the two.
yeah.
I forget which one. And then you're thinking
Princess
the girl
Buttercup.
you're thinking of is like the like wizard apprentice or whatever. And
Yeah,
she's
that
like
one.
she's not bad at magic. She just only knows like 2 spells because she's first level like everyone else.
Yeah.
So the second book they're coming out with is
I like he
I wanna watch
doesn't
those
indulge
movies.
our madness. He just
I'm just
keeps on rolling.
boom.
He's the steady
6 through 20 and full on 15 levels of dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
You're going through the Mad Mage Hallister's dungeon.
But how many
underneath
people are
water.
going to find a workaround, right? Like that's like players. I always see players like find like a crazy fucking workaround. Like we're gonna prepare for a mining excavation. Like we're gonna dig our way down to level 20. Like
What I like about this is it starts in the Yawning Portal, which they've already done a book of, and then the Yawning Portal is an inn in Waterdeep that's got this huge, massive hole that goes down into this dungeon. And it's like a gateway to the Mad Kings or the Mad Wizards.
So like Big Trouble in Little China.
the Yawning Portal is also a loose bar in Thailand. So
Makes sense.
yeah,
It's a shemale bar.
I'm not saying it's not.
So I'm excited. Apparently,
There's
each
a really
level,
fun bar in
each level of
Singapore
this is like
called Crazy
there's like
Horse, where there's the same thing.
20 some
I may have
levels.
been in
Yeah.
it.
There's like 20 some levels of
have
this
stories.
dungeon and each dungeon is going to have its own kind of flavor and kind of stuff. So
That part of it feels very Monty Cook to me.
it's Chris Perkins.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
Yeah, I see where
mean,
you're coming from.
similar. Like I'm playing through loosely. I say loosely playing through. I have a group that I play with occasionally when I have the time, and they're going through a 20 level dungeon, and it's pretty impressive.
So we're doing Curse of Strahd right now. I started that.
We are doing Curse.
Damn, is it
month ago.
fun, dude! I
like
fucking
Curse
love
of
that
Strahd.
adventure.
Are we
Man.
playing
It's been a lot of
tomorrow?
fun. Yeah, we're playing tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Shit, yeah, I can't not.
Yeah, I know.
I'm jonesing.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get my RP on, man.
It's a good adventure.
It is a good adventure.
So
It's I think is fun is it feels more focused on the fantasy element of things, and in my mind, I think that's part of what makes it such a really fun adventure.
It's by far my favorite of any adventure in D&D I've ever played, without a doubt.
really,
Yeah,
wow.
It's definitely up there for me. Like it's.
it's number one for me.
I think my favorite adventure will always
I like
be,
the kind of horror element to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. The horror is good. I think my favorite adventure will always be Son of the Citadel, but that's just because it was like the first one that I fully completed, and I think it has a special place in my heart for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
How many sessions do you think it'll take to complete Curse of Strahd? Just like ballpark.
We only play like 2 hours. Well, really an hour and a half once we get everything started. It's going to take a while.
Yeah,
Like
Because
a year.
once,
like months.
yeah,
Oh, more than months.
Yeah.
Like a year, probably.
Wait, you guys are all playing it?
yeah.
Damn.
You're streaming when we do it. That's the only reason why you're not there. It's Wednesday nights.
I don't have to.
Wednesday night at 8. You want to play? You can show up, man.
Yep.
If you want to play with us, you can.
you can play.
There's room.
I felt
There's
like
been-
the stinky kid at softball.
No, you can go play.
Before you build your character, though, you need to talk to me.
Yeah, well, I'm okay.
Don't
so
look at me like that.
Oh my god!
Wait.
Don't do it.
No, it's going to be really cool. You'll like the arc.
Okay, so first off, full disclosure, my experience with D&D is first a game in 2010, and it was some guy monotone reading from a book, and it was awful.
That sounds sensual.
And it literally turned me off to the game. And then I had an intro game with Drew last week, and now I'm like,
You're like, D&D doesn't have to be
I'm
miserable.
like, this doesn't have to be like sitting in a common area with like 6 nerds who don't know what deodorant is,
Oh, God.
and one nerd talking at us in complete monotone. I was like, this is amazing.
If you want to play, all you really have to do is just come down, right?
Yeah.
And make a 3rd level character, and I'd recommend a dwarf. Yeah,
Well, of course you'd recommend a dwarf.
Dwarves are extremely hardy. They're a very forgiving race to play if it's like one of your first games, and they're good. And there's already 2 dwarves in the group, so it'd be a natural fit.
I need to talk to you about the background of where your dwarf comes from, though.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
You don't even know what it is. It's fun. It's awesome.
It's not fun.
It is fun. I have the
fun for
most
you.
fun character in that. And if I have a cool guy like Ryan to bounce off of, it'll be that much more fun.
Cool guy.
You're a cool guy.
Just saying, there may be a group of dwarven mercenaries that are caravan guards. So you could just.
Yeah, because that's fucking boring as shit. So.
It's generic.
Yeah, I hate generic. Generic makes me angry.
Generic makes me angry.
Like,
All right.
if you don't believe me, ask every random fantasy show ever.
Honestly, it's like some of the most fun I've had playing D&D in a while.
Is it?
So,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you're having fun being our GM?
Oh,
DM?
yeah.
Our GM Drew.
Our
Right.
GM, Drew. I would
It's
say
my jam.
the best...
I get you saying that.
The fond memories that hooked me on D&D, because I had some really bad D&D experiences early on.
I think everyone has at some point.
Including one with a guy who I later found out was insane. That during the session he was telling me how he worked for the CIA and he killed people, and it was just a random guy that showed up for the game. And I'm like, this dude's gonna fucking follow me to my house and wear my face tonight. Like, this is not cool.
For clarification, I did not play in that game.
No, he did not. It wasn't Kyle. And it wasn't Ryan or Drew, because they were like, there's a helicopter picking me up tonight. I gotta go kill somebody this evening for the CIA. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it was really scary. And so it swore me off D&D for a little while, because I'm like, does this just attract like fucking nut jobs?
Really, he's going down into his basement.
Yeah,
playing
really,
Call of
he's going
Duty?
down.
You mean his mom's basement?
Sorry, his roommate's basement.
Yeah,
Right.
before he has dinner the
Did the
next night with his
carriage
lady.
That leads me to a discussion that I've been reading online, and is how popular D&D now is more popular than it's ever been, and it's due to things like Critical Role,
Pretty white people play D&D.
It's getting people out of the basement.
It is.
And seeing how to play this
Like
game.
seeing it in things like Stranger Things and stuff like that.
If we made our own like video D&D sessions,
Yeah.
could we call ourselves Critical Flab?
Critical Flag.
Because like Critical Role, every time I think of it, I'm like, pretty white people play D&D, like, because that's what it is, right? It's a bunch of pretty white people.
Yeah.
We're
not
half
pretty.
of that.
We're white, but we're not pretty.
Like, oh, we could like pasty Critical Role. That's what we are. Critical Pale.
It would be fun. It would be fun. I get it.
I want to show
I
myself
feel like,
to the world.
I feel like I need some more licks under my belt for.
I mean, we can get
go
G in it
live.
if you need some licks under your belt.
Yeah, right. Hi, G.
He doesn't listen. That's okay.
He doesn't listen.
So, anyway,
We don't consume nearly the calories I'm used to at D&D's, though, so that's kind of...
No.
I know. Have you ever told him your normal D&D diet?
No, so Drew, I was in a group in college and we played D&D for a year, and of course a friend of ours' parents' basement. So it's no joke. And one of my good friends was our DM, and he was good. He's kind of crazy, but I love him. And so he would do all these, and he would always go into the voices. Like if it was a goblin, he'd be like, "Well, hello, little humans, what are you doing here?" Like he'd always do all these annoying voices, and he was really good. But the crown jewel was we'd play all day Sunday. We do 6 to 9 hours for a session.
Yeah.
That's how you develop blood clots, kids.
It is. And when your legs are going numb, but you can't move
Takes
because
so much prep time. Wow.
Well, yeah, it turns out when you're in college and your classes aren't hard, it was pretty easy. So
And he lived in his mom's basement. Not CJ, but
our DM. And he had a giant TV he'd set up, and he'd make all the maps on an electronic map maker that were full color, and he'd preload all of the enemies electronically we'd fight, and then so we'd move around the map, and like if they'd attack us, he'd just hit a button and it would give us, what did they roll and what damage if it was successful. So it was very automated.
That's pretty awesome.
It was impressive.
Okay.
But the food, Drew, we would consume on an average D&D session between 5 to 8 large Pizza Hut jalapeno and bacon pizzas. It was always the same. And generally,
Rick, can you imagine the smell?
Could you imagine the breath? I need to lean in and whisper you something. No, that's cool, man.
Rather note.
3 to 5 boxes of Hostess Ding Dongs.
Yes.
Right?
And
how
we
is
would go
CJ isn't dead yet? It's shocking to me.
I would say a good 36 to 40 cans of like Mountain Dew and Wild Cherry Pepsi among us.
Like, I'm not exactly a paragon of smart eating choices, but goddamn.
My diet
that is impressive.
We did that. It became a ritual. We did that every Sunday for like a year, and I think I actually gained like 25 pounds that year.
Yeah, I would not doubt it.
Because there were moments where you stood up and you're like, I'm not sure if my eyes are going to explode because all the sugar and cheese. Like,
diabetes, Batman.
So
making Wilford Brimley roll over.
And the worst part was there was only one bathroom in the basement.
God, that poor toilet. If only it could talk, the horrors it's seen. Holy shit.
I bet you at the end of every week, that toilet looked like the toilet off a Train Spotting.
I bet you...
It was the old Combat-y heavy edition, whichever the fuck one that was, where it would be like
4th edition. So it was like 7 hours and they got one encounter done.
We'd have like that's why it was so long.
Yeah.
We'd have like one fight with like town guards. Like 2.5 hours later, we defeated them.
Yeah, right. Oh, fucking 4th edition.
I remember our epic battle. So 1 year campaign, we lost to swamp witches. We were fucking defeated by 3 swamp witches in like an 8-hour battle, and they finally killed us, all of us, total party wipe, and we're like, how did this happen? Why did the witches have like 800 hit points?
I imagine that bathroom smelled like a Civil War field hospital where they did amputations on gangrenous limbs.
There was like a foot in the corner.
Like somebody shit in a gangrenous.
Yeah, it's like...
At some
it's
point...
like a gangrenous wound that someone shit in. Why would you shit in it?
You knew it was getting bad when like 6 months in, we kept a big bottle of Tums in the center. And we're just like, why do we keep getting jalapeno with the bacon? This is a bad idea.
Like, I'm amazed. Like, after the 5th time, you guys are like, jalapeno bacon, and someone's like, yep. Keep doing it.
You know what, guys? Let's take a break and just do pepperoni.
Right?
Hold.
When you have those things, have you ever had those things? This is where we get gross. Where you belch, but you kind of half throw up in your mouth.
Yeah.
And you're like, thank you. Yeah. But it's like you kind of burp, and you're just like, oh shit, there's like pizza and Wild Cherry Pepsi at the back of the throat now.
Oh god, that would taste awful coming back.
Nothing tastes quite like pizza, bacon,
like,
Wild Cherry Pepsi, and stomach bile at the same time.
Don't forget the ding dongs.
Yeah, and the ding dong to sweeten it all up.
Yeah.
Pizza, acidic. Wild Cherry Pepsi, acidic. Stomach bile, super acidic.
I was born in the heartburn fires of D&D.
I'm shocked you didn't give yourself a stoma.
There were times
all the
when
stomach bile coming through.
The worst times were like when we're in the middle of a fight and it was all around this little sofa, and our legs would start going numb, and somebody'd be like, I can't feel my legs anymore, but there's so much shit around us you can't get up. Like papers and dice and pizza boxes, and you're like, I need to stand.
I really wish I could see those character sheets for all the grease stains.
Oh god.
There were so many pizza grease stains.
If I get like a stain on my character sheet, I'm like, new character sheet. I'm like weird about that.
Yeah.
I hate it when they're stained.
I usually get a new character sheet when I level. I'm that guy.
Yeah, sometimes I do too because I hate a bunch of erase marks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
well, we'll
move on to
some
D&D.
tangents there.
All right.
Okay.
Do you guys want to talk Bug Eater?
The assault on Planet O, which we sadly lost.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. We had a really cool intro for we were going to do segments on our preparation for Bug Eater, and then we lost the intro, and we're just like, fuck it. He lays down a little bit on that
You
one.
want to re-record that? Hell no.
It was a lot of work.
So much work recording.
I
that.
know.
Oh well.
Drew, that was gonna be cool.
Did you guys have a good time?
Do you like
Yeah,
how he
good
deflects
subject
there?
change.
He deflected really
Master
good, everybody.
politician there.
Wait. Did Drew do his part?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you if Drew did his part because we don't have it anymore.
I know it's gonna.
I would have said
So-
that I would have done my part, but who knows?
I did have a good time. Kyle and I crossed the hellscape of Nebraska again.
God, fuck that place. It's so horrible to
it
drive
is
across.
awful.
Like
It's much
Omaha's
worse
like
coming
an
back,
oasis
though.
in
So
the
much
corn
worse
hell.
coming back.
Is it worse? I don't know if it's worse going back or worse going there. Because
Well, going
I
there,
enjoy
there's
the drive home more because like I'm like soon freedom.
I don't because I'm like feel like I'm about to pass out.
Sure.
Like
that's fair.
between the weekend of rich food, the 36 hours of gaming, like crapping myself unbelievably in a high school gym, and then an 8-hour drive across Nebraska starting
see,
at like 6 p.m.
Hold on.
I had the rich
Did
food, but
crapping
I got a big plug in there, right? Like I ate a lot of cheese on the first night.
Yeah.
It was like a stopper. So I probably shit once while we were in Nebraska.
Yeah, Kyle almost died in the bathroom.
It was a big shit, but it was just one. It was one.
Gross.
Never mind. I'm gonna let that one go. I was gonna make a remark about CJ and shitting himself in a gym in high school. Did it take you back to high school, or like did it
It's
feel
awkward because some of the toilets are shorter.
Yeah.
And
I bet.
there's like really lewd things written on the inside of the walls, and it smells like a fucking high school. Like, they have that
It's
smell?
in a high school.
Because I tell you what,
and it's like
It
a high
does.
school
It smells
bathroom.
like one.
Dude, well, no,
It made me like I was like look at all the like Nebraska people like for a good time call Billy and there's like a swastika and like you have a small penis. I'm like yeah there we go. That's
Takes you home.
seems like juvenile
Take
white
me home.
kids. Yeah.
Country roads.
So Bug Eaters in a high school gymnasium?
It is.
yeah.
It was okay. So it's a high school, right? But it's like Millard West.
Millward West.
It's
a
a
nice high
really
school.
fucking nice high school. Like it is nicer.
But it's still a high school.
It's still
It
high
is,
school.
but it's nicer than the LCCC campus.
Yeah.
Really?
I fucking shit you not, man. It's a nice high school.
Okay.
It's big as
So
shit.
it's run by he's a history teacher and their debate coach, and he uses all of the proceeds to fund his debate team for his high school traveling and doing events.
Furthering
Wow.
the stereotype that all history teachers are coaches of some sort.
Yeah. Especially nerdy stuff like theater and debate.
Right,
and
or students.
My roommate in college was a history major
Yeah.
because he liked to coach football.
Is he unemployed still?
I don't know.
You literally dude, hold on. You just literally blew my mind.
Did I open that world up for you?
Yeah, whoa.
How every coach you ever had was also a history teacher?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Whoa.
Moving on.
Dude, no, like, I didn't even notice this. This just messed me
You
up.
want to know why? Because it's really easy to be a history teacher.
But
It doesn't change.
Yeah, same
shit already
here.
happened.
Well, I mean, technically, math doesn't change super frequently.
But Tim Royers is a really cool guy.
Yeah, not to bag on Tim. Tim is a really great guy. He
Some
puts
of
on a
his
great
students
event.
put quotes. I read you some of them of
Yeah.
Tim teaching. The only one that stuck with apparently Tim has good one-liners, and the only one that stuck to me is if you have to build murder into your schedule, you're not a good guy. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's a great quote.
Yeah,
That's a great quote.
I think that was in reference to Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. So, but anyway, on to the Warhammer part. The first day, let's save the house for the end. The first day,
Sure.
Kyle and I
Wait, the
did the
house.
40K
Oh, the
team tournament, and we played Thousand Suns, and
Want to know how it went? I bet you can guess. Shitty. Real
Yeah.
fucking shitty.
we just basically got raped to death.
Like, the first two guys could have tabled us at any time, and it
They were
literally...
too timid.
Like, they were just being... Yeah, right? They were just basically being bitches.
Yeah.
Like, they could have... Like, every turn, we'd start the turn, like,
They're like,
their
I
side
don't
of
want
the
to
turn.
get too close.
Yeah, and I'd look over at CJ and I would just look at him and be like, "This is it, man. Here it comes."
And
And
they
they would just like
wouldn't do it.
they would super soft gloves us, and like it cost them the tournament.
It cost them the tournament.
They were
because
in a
soft
position where they
handed
could
us.
have won if they had just literally pushed our head down a little farther on it.
Yeah.
they could have taken it all the way home.
Basically,
You know?
they were drowning us, but giving us enough room where like you get
Yeah.
your lips out of the water to suck in a breath.
Yeah, they were basically drowning us in like a bowl.
Yeah, if you had just pushed a little farther, we would have drowned.
Yeah, I would have been dead. We would have definitely dead.
Game 2, we played against Elder Tau,
Fucking Eldar Tau and like so.
and both were special in their own way.
Yeah, so like
Our opponents.
I come up and I'm like looking at the army. I'm like, all right, let me guess, a lay talk, and the other player's like, is there really any other craft world you could play? And I was like, yeah, there's like 6 other craft worlds you could play. And he's like, yeah, well, you just basically play any one of them you want, but you give them the lay talk rules because. Oh, and sorry, he didn't say a lay talk. He says, you mean a lie talk? I'm like, no, it's a lay talk. I've been playing for 20 years. It's a late.
He's also the man that he was just kind of rude.
He was kind of a jerk.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
He kept correcting me on how I pronounce things.
Yeah.
And I went over to the table first, and Kyle was chatting to another guy. And he's like, "Is your partner going to come play a game, or is he just going to keep talking?" I was like, "This is a good start."
Right? Like, listen, buddy, we're not in the top 10 fucking tables at LVO. You just calm your fucking shit. We lost our first game, which means so did you.
The best part was,
So, hey, let me spoiler alert here, champ. It's a fucking 3-rounder. You're already out of the running.
A spoiler alert: your LA talk didn't do too well.
Yeah.
But some highlights from that game that I want to point out.
It was a fun game.
It was the elder guy basically saying that our +1 to casting on Airman was bullshit.
Yeah, like the other guy's like, God, your rules are so good. As he's like literally
Like
fucking
raping
beating
us to
me to death with a ball peen hammer. He's just like bashing in my fucking skull. He's like, geez, your army's really tough. I'm like, what are you? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, you brought jets that I can't hit with flamethrowers that deal mortal wounds. I was like, are you fucking serious right now? Are you you're gonna be like, your army's so good?
And then he's like, you mean Magnus can cast 3 spells? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, right? Like, he's like literally the best human psyker besides the Emperor ever.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, watch out.
This
he can
guy's
cast
bitter
3.
that Magnus the Red is outdoing his fucking Farseer.
Yeah, right. He's like, oh, my Farseer should be able to outcast the giant demon Primarch. Fuck off, dude. Get your fucking reality in check, buddy.
And then the best part, though, was that the Tau player tried to want to shoot us more, but it almost cost him the game.
Yeah, so, like, we're about to end the game. Like,
we're going to surrender.
We're going to surrender because it's done, right? Like, we're going to call the last turn, and they're going to basically get almost full points. Yeah, right? And the Tau player, like, keeps going, well, I kind of want to keep shooting. And then the other guy's like, we don't need to. We're going to win. He's like, yeah, but I really want to shoot one more time. And the other guy's like, okay. And I'm just like, good.
So then Kyle walks over and uses a little ruler. It's like, that's funny. You're actually out of range on these objectives.
Yeah, I could see that I could
turns.
see that he wasn't in range, but I wasn't going to call him because it was over in my mind. And I didn't care. Like, I was like, we're here to win best painted. That's what we're going to try and do. And we're going home. And like, he was like, no, wait, I'm going to keep playing. And I was like, all right. Fine. You want to be that fucking guy? You want to shoot me one more turn? I'm going to fucking call you on your stupid objectives. And I tossed him my 3-inch tack template, and I was like, measure that objective. And he's like 4 inches away, and he's like, oh, I'm out. And I'm like, yeah, so you didn't score it last turn or this turn. We were literally...
It was 18-17.
They beat us by 1 point at that point. We almost won the game.
He
and I was
cost
like,
his
you fucking
team like
idiot.
10 points by fucking trying
10
to
points
shoot us
by
more.
being like, I want to shoot your dreadnought that isn't even on an objective. So if you learned anything from that, you stupid fuckwad, it's when you're going to win the game, just shut the fuck up and win the game, man. Don't go like, I want to shoot with my Riptide one more time so I can blow up their dreadnought. Like, our dreadnought's on an objective. Look, champ, you already won. You don't need to drag your fucking tiny little blue towel balls all over it. Instead of being a fucking idiot, just win the game and be graceful about it.
Take your win.
Yeah, so we fucked them out of any hope of coming into like second place even. We did. So we're playing super dickhole spoilers at this point. We're just gatekeeper extraordinaire.
It was really awkward.
Our last game sucked balls.
Yeah, it did.
And it sucked balls
because
for
we
our
actually
opponents.
tabled somebody.
We did, and they were pissed.
They got fucking really
So it's
pissy
2
with
guys
us.
from Arkansas, and they were really nice at the first.
At first.
And they were like, yeah, we're
Went
really
south
new.
quickly, no
Let us know
problem.
if we're doing something wrong. And we're like, yeah, no worries. We're playing Thousand Suns. We're not, like a competitive army. And literally, we're like balls deep in these guys, and they just make a bunch of really bad decisions.
The best part is when we smite to death the entire Death Company squad.
Yeah, Death Company, like 2 Death Company squads deep strike in next to a line of my cultists. And he's like, I assault your cultists. And I was like, cool. And like, he made contact with him, and I was like, I'll just take him away now. And he's like, oh? And I was like, yeah, dude, you had 10 Death Company, I have 10 cultists. I was like, you win. I was like, I'm not going to make you roll those dice.
That's like
we all know how
Thomas
that
trying
works.
to fight a bus.
Yeah, right? Like, that's
That ain't gonna go well.
right? Like, what did you bring to the fight? A box of puppies. What about you? I brought a wood chipper. Like, wood chipper wins. And I have no problem with that. So we pull the cultists. Yeah, we pull the cultists, and we literally proceed to fucking smite the dick off this guy.
We did.
He's just standing there. He's like, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
I know.
So like, we're just smiting these guys, and like one of the older guys, like, what are you guys trying to do here?
Yeah.
And we both just stopped. We were like, looked at each other like, we're playing 40K. What are you doing? he's like, well, you guys going to table us? Like, well, we're not going to stop shooting you if it's what you're asking. Like,
he's like, did you just come here to have like a bad time with us? Or
yeah, right. Like,
and I'm like, no.
What?
I'm like,
yeah, he was just like, he was being super fucking salty, and like, I'm reading it, right? Like, I know he's getting salty, and I'm like, well, let's hope our sportsmanship holds, right? And so I'm like,
sure didn't.
I'm like, basically, I'm like, all right, CJ, I think we're done. And CJ's like, no. CJ just goes full hog and shoves that thing all the way.
Wait.
He goes
so
balls deep on
CJ
these poor
spilled
guys.
blood in the water.
He got, I don't know what it was. I think it was CJ
I've
just
been
like
playing Thousand Suns for like a year straight of just getting raped, and I finally had the weather gauge on these people. I was like, the Thousand Suns, this was like the death road, and they were the Iraqis, and I was the U.S. Air Force.
Yeah, CJ's tired of getting pushed around and battered by all the mean men, and he finally found the gun in his dresser,
like that,
and he's just going fucking super hardcore.
I'm like
on these
that
people.
battered spouse who finally got the big mean man down, and I'm just going to town with that hammer. There's going to be nothing left.
Next 5 minutes, he's going to cut off the dude's dick and flush it. Like,
Right above it.
so they had a really bad time, which was funny because it turns out these two guys from Arkansas, the guy who was really salty, I found out later his name is Angry Shane.
Okay, that kind of fits.
So my first game on day 2, I played with the guy from Arkansas, and this is an AOS. And he was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And like the two guys we fucking wrecked the night before show up, and they're watching, and like the Angry Shane comes over to the guy I'm playing. He's like, "That's him." And I was just like, "I'm like me? I'm not even the guy who was just like fucking forcing your face down into the dirt while I wrecked your asshole. Like I'm not the guy. I was just there helping. I was like the George Lucas to your Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
You were the one raping Indiana Jones over the pinball machine.
I had him over the pinball machine.
I just got his pants down.
All I was doing was like, "Cow, get his pants down."
Wee! Squeal, boy.
As my face flushes, like,
yeah. God, I love South Park. But the guy I played against was super cool, and his name was Matt. And he was super nice, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about that. That's Angry Shane." He was like, he was texting me the whole time while you guys were playing, and be like, "These guys are so mean." He's like, "Well, I'm not gonna hold it against you." We played,
the best,
and Matt kicked me pretty hard. He beat me up pretty good, and he was just like, "Oh, it was a fantastic game."
That charged a space Blood Angels captain to Magnus.
Yeah, Blood Angel
was
captain.
upset when Magnus just goes brr.
Yeah, Magnus literally fucking punts this Blood Angel smash fucker captain because he like charges in the captain
with a thunder hammer and an iron halo.
Not even a thunder
like,
hammer; it was a power fist.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a full thunder hammer. He like punched us with a power fist and like, yeah, 3 up mortal save, man. Fucking don't care.
And then I'm just like, take 12 wounds. So we won Best Painted.
We did win Best Painted.
We do milk painting.
We're done. We're done with that.
We are.
CJ
I beat
won
that horse to death.
CJ won Best Painted with the Sylvaneth.
Dude, there's no horse
in
left.
AOS,
You're hitting
which is
dirt
pretty
now.
good. I am super glad we didn't play the 40k GT. That was my takeaway because Matt Root and Josh Death were in it, and they're not particularly.
I want no part of that.
Yeah, they're not particularly fun to play against. They're very good players.
They're great players,
but
they kind of approach the game in a way that it's not my personal way.
Yeah, it's not how I would want to play. I would not choose to play against them. Let me put it that way.
So we played AOS. I had a blast. I loved playing.
I got my ass kicked. I ended up in 15th out of 28. I did not have a good tournament, but I did enjoy it.
Absolutely humiliated me. A guy who essentially I was defeated the moment I was paired against the man. Like I didn't even need to show up to the table, and I would have just assigned 30 victory points to him.
That happened to me in my first tournament.
Did it?
So I was on track for first place.
Yeah.
I had tabled both of my opponents. And then
you played Ace.
And then no. This was in my very first tournament in Hawaii. And then I put down some Space Wolves, and we start deploying. And I look across, and like in my head, I was like, the only one who's gonna just destroy me is Tau. And he's like, "Hey, I'm playing Tau," and I was like, "Awesome." And first turn, I lost all my Long Fangs, all my Wolfen. I lost 3 out of 5 of my like Wolf Riders or my Thunder Cab. Like I had 2 units left on the board, and I was just like, "Do you just want me to just walk away and you tell me when you're done playing?" And he's just like,
"Tell you, he's like, I want to shoot you more."
Yeah,
right?
No, he did.
They always do. The Tau players always do.
He's like, "Tell you what," he goes, "just play the next one. We'll see how it goes." And me being a brand new player, I was like, "Sure." And yeah, did not go.
No, he didn't care what you did. He just wanted to shoot you more.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the Tau players' delight. They're like, "Hey, he can't get to me in melee," and they just keep shooting. They're like,
put down, dude,
more marker lights and pulse rifles.
Dude, he put down like 30 drones. I couldn't get near him. I was just like, well,
I'm putting you on fucking blast right now, Tau players. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
yeah.
Don't be the guy who's like, I'm going to play one more turn just to shoot you one more time. Like, win gracefully or lose gracefully. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
So I won't bore people about Sylvaneth. I won Best Painted. Sorry, Richard.
Richard, you got robbed.
You did get robbed, buddy. I actually think you should have beat me. And
I think it was the display board.
it was the display board. I think.
Like I think Richard's technical painting was phenomenal, and it was
his
really good
conversions
looking.
were
His
just
conversions
literally
were top
second to
notch.
There's
I think
no
it was
thing
the
that-
difference was his display board did not look as cool.
There's literally no one I can think of that beats Richard Cole's in conversions. Like the
No,
only one
no.
competitive in my mind is Dave Taylor. That's it.
Sure.
Like I think he's one of the best converters in the country.
Yeah, I agree.
He just sculpts stuff. He's like, I'm just gonna make a whole body in a tree, and he's like, I made it, and it just
Yep.
looks amazing. But I ended up coming in third overall with Sylvaneth, and that was enjoyable
Third place overall.
for the whole
Nice.
tournament. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Kyle, you have observations about Fire Slayers.
I do. So I played a Fire Slayer list that I thought was not the meta list, but was still good. And I learned that it's okay here, but not good competitively, like on the larger scene. And I realized why no one else is playing it, because I was like, this seems good. I don't know why no one else is trying this. And it's because I don't deal mortal wounds. I can stop them, but I can't deal them. And I took the wrong command trait
And
on
you
my
had
general.
some maneuverability issues too. Didn't you?
I
For,
did.
like,
I had a lot of
far-flung
maneuverability
objectives?
issues. It was basically like I would deploy my army and they would just run up one lane of the board. Like I literally played against one guy who's like, I play against Fire Slayers all the time, and I'm so excited to play yours because it's not 90 berserkers.
He basically was like, "You've got the shitty ones."
Yeah,
This
he
is
was
gonna
like,
be
"You got
great."
this shitty list, thanks." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." Like at one point, he's like, "Well, this is a really fun game." He's like, "Your list is really fun to play." I'm like, "I'm sure it's fun to beat," like because he's like literally like fucking just wrecking my ass. This guy is railing me out.
You had a
real
Stormcast
hard.
Dragon army that just ran over you.
Yeah, a Stormcast Dragon army. He's like I've never played against that army before.
Literally,
so I didn't know what it
there are-
did, and he just wrecks me.
So the best thing about this was that a little earlier that day, Kyle and I was looking at all these fulminators around, and we're like, they're really shitty. Why is everybody taking them?
Yeah, right. Like
then the next game, Kyle and I both get raped by fulminators.
yeah, I
as
was
they
like,
just
well,
barf
I
lightning
learned why
little wounds on
fulminators
you.
are good.
Yeah.
Like I looked at them once and was like, these don't seem good. I'm like, no,
Wrong.
super wrong. I learned a lot. So
Mega wrong.
I did get my ass kicked a lot at this tournament, but I enjoyed the tournament nonetheless. I didn't have any bad games.
I didn't either. No,
I didn't have a single bad opponent, which was great.
Even the guy
And
that
I learned
just
a lot.
auto defeated me the moment I showed up was not a bad guy.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's a big deal because
it is.
At the end of the day, I'm
Because
just
I've
here
played
to have
40K
fun.
games that were miserable.
Oh yeah, I have too.
That are just you're like this cannot end soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have definitely been to that place.
Like you're thinking about in your mind, how close are you to breaking this social contract and just being like, I can't play this person anymore.
Right.
That happened to me.
I know it did. Yeah.
And everyone was staring at me when it was going on, and I didn't know why. And then 5 minutes into the game, I knew why. That weirded me out.
Yeah.
I see Ace, you, and CJ just staring at me when we're setting up and talking, and then 10 minutes in, I was like, "This is awful."
Yep. Yeah. We got to talk about the house because we made a big deal of it. Kyle, it was your experience mostly.
So did you like Airbnb it or
We
was it
Airbnb. Okay, so Richard
found it,
found this place
and it actually ended up being a very nice house.
It was a
really
beautiful
was.
house.
It's an old historic home
built
in
in
an old park.
1930.
Yes.
But moved from its original location. Moved into a weird spot. So the house
It
is
actually
basically
had a name. It was called the Tabin House?
Tainton House or something like that.
Yeah.
The Taint House. I don't know. The murder house. It's called. Okay, so when you go
It
in
did
the
look
house,
like a murder house.
it looks like something from American Horror Story.
It did.
Okay.
The
Like-
wallpapers. The wood,
yeah, right. Like it's all original stuff, all from 1930. Like it's
The
impressive,
bathrooms.
but
yeah.
it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. So we go in, and the downstairs is kind of whatever. We don't really spend much time down there anyway.
The dress room kind of made it awkward.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that part. We take the tour. We go up the landing to the stairs. It smells like a dead person's last dying breath. It's fucking ultra creepy. That's the first thing I know. And I'm like, this is where we get murdered. We go upstairs. There's like a white... Like the first room we go into is my room that I stayed in. And it's the plaid room. And the entire room is red wallpaper that's red plaid. And it's like where a murder would happen in a Stephen King novel. And my bed that is as hard as a board has two paintings overlooking it. One of a goat with like goat demon eyes and one of a cow. So I'm like, this goat is watching me sleep. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to sleep at all here.
While you're sleeping, like the goat eyes slide out and it's just
Yeah,
a dude
right.
watching
And there's
you.
like a creepy closet. So right past my room on the right is the attic staircase, which has a padlocked door.
Yeah, the attic staircase was padlock closed, which I made a bit awkward.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
Right past that was the turn of the century, like all white porcelain bathroom
with cracks
like
in the
cracks
tiles.
in the tile, like a really deep tub. I'm like, I'm killed in this bathroom. I'm like literally picturing myself. I picture myself getting murdered in almost every single room.
Yeah.
In the bathroom, I was naked, my wrists were slit, hanging out of the tub, and there's blood everywhere. And like someone has wrote on the mirror in my blood, and I don't know what it says because it's backwards to me. We go down the hall. Another room is Nana's room, which looks.
Nana's room was the scariest room.
It was. So you open the door and it's just a bed in a room with like paisley wallpaper, and I fucking kid you not, guys, it's the same bed and the same wallpaper in the room that my grandmother died in, and it was fucking ultra creepy. I was like, Nana. I was like, this is weird. We go into CJ's room, and you can explain yours because I only went in your room once and I stayed out.
I had the I think what was once the master suite.
Sure.
And the thing that weirded me out is there were like 4 doors in the bedroom.
So there's like 80 ways you can get attacked.
There were like 80 ways I could get attacked. And then I had a weird like door that went into a roof that had been porched over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a sauna room, basically.
It was like a sauna room.
Because we're there at night when we first go in. It's like 86 degrees in that room.
And it's like, so, and I'll be honest, I do believe in ghosts, and I am really paranoid because of my job. And so I actually barricaded every door each night when I went in there. So if you guys had to try to come in, it would have been hard. In theory.
That's fair.
Yeah.
In theory.
But
I'm spectral,
I didn't have
so
great barricades. At one point, I was literally wedging a door closed with a 40K Kodak. So I was like, maybe it'll distract them a second.
Did you at least bring a gun?
Yeah, I had a gun next to me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You're all right.
I just needed enough noise to get to the pistol. That was all.
Yeah.
That's my worst fear. That's one of my top worst fears. Is you wake up and the killer's standing like right over you, like Braveheart style, with that like
with a ball and chain,
and you just wake up and he's like caves in your head. Damn. That's like a terrible fear of mine.
God, I've always wanted to die like that.
Enough time that I can be like, I can get off a couple of shots. I might still die, but I feel better about my death.
That's what you do. Outside your door, you take like a towel and a light bulb and you pop the light bulb and you lay it down on the ground and then you put a mat there so you hear the cracking glass.
Look at you.
Yep.
Brilliant. Anyway, continuing through the house.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest part, right? Because we don't really see. I never really went into Richard and Brittany's room. I saw it from the.
It had a
hallway.
4-post bed.
Yeah, it was weird. Everything was weird. So we go downstairs.
The face bathroom.
Oh yeah, right. So like the bathroom, the bathroom that's like right in the entrance. There's like a little bathroom right off the entrance. It's just a toilet and a sink, and it's like the wallpaper in there is like newspaper is what it looked like, but it's all a bunch of ladies,
and it's all like Victorian women like shopping.
It's so weird.
As you're literally sitting in this toilet, you're looking around and there's like 150 Victorian women staring at you.
That's where I took the really horrible shit too. So we go down to the basement, and it's kind of creepy in itself. What the weirdest part of the basement to me at first was like when I go down there, it was like they have an air freshener down there that was the exact same air freshener my parents used to use in their basement when I was like a teenager. So it was like really weirdly comforting but nostalgic and terrifying at the same time. And we like turn over to the right as you go down there because it's basically just a single room basement, and it's got like a TV, it's whatever, and like a couch. We turn to the right and there's a big gray double door, and we're like, "What's that?" And Richard goes, "Well, they didn't tell us anything about that, so I don't think we're supposed to go in there." And we're like, "Well, we're going in there."
Yeah, we were just like, "Oh fuck that, I'm opening it up."
Yeah, it wasn't locked.
What if the New Orleans X-Men's in here?
Yeah, right. Like I need to know. So we open the door, and this room is full of, I fucking kid you not, about 100 prom dresses. And they are all the same size. Yeah. And it was so creepy. I was like, oh, so the murderer likes to dress up real fucking pretty.
It's like Wild Bill's room.
Yeah, right. Like this is the other place I die, and I'm dressed up in one of these dresses. Like someone squeezes me into one. You know, it's like bursting at the seams a little bit.
Really tight, like high school prom dress.
Yeah, right. And sequins and shit. Oh
it's
man.
Like the murderer
and my butt looks really good.
And he's like, put this on. You're like, no. And he just beats the hell out of you until you.
Yeah, right. He like clubs me over the head with a sap or a blackjack, and then he like does me on the bed in the trad room up the pooper, and then he kills me
because he got turned down from prom every year.
Yeah,
he's like, you're the prom queen.
Yeah, and I'm like yeah, no, it was real weird. So the whole place is really creepy, and like the neighborhood it's in is also really awkward.
It's
so like on one side,
semi-trailer park, semi-old homes.
Yeah, it was like every time you could like
next to us.
Face every different direction was like a really weird thing. And like the creepiest night I have is like the first night we're really in there before it was the second night we're in there, right? It was before the AOS tournament. And I'm like finishing some shit up, as you know I'm gonna do. Like I'm painting the black on the rims of my bases or whatever. And everyone else has gone to bed, and there's the fucking weirdest lightning storm
Yeah, I know
ever.
that was creepy.
No thunder. It was just like bright lightning flashes. It was like War of the Worlds.
Yeah, it
weird.
was.
It was super fucking bizarre. And I'm like sitting here jamming out to like some fucking metal. Have this creepy lightning storm, and like to my back is just a big dark room, and I'm like, man, this is fucking creepy. I'm like, this is how I die. I get knifed in the back of the head, and I fall
Or
on
like
the
a
table.
piano wire around the neck, like
Yeah, right. Like Jabba. It kills me like Jabba.
Your blood sprays across all your poor fire storm.
Yeah, right. All my fire slayers are
laid
coated in
out
my blood. It was so weird, you guys.
It was.
I would definitely stay there again.
I would too.
It was fun, and it was a pretty decent price, but fuck me, was it hard to sleep in that house.
When I get freaked out about a place, like that first night, I basically had to pass out from exhaustion because I'm just laying in bed and my mind won't turn off. And eventually I just get tired enough. It's like the first nights I've ever slept in prisons, and I'm just like, oh, my mind won't turn off.
Wait, you slept in a prison?
A couple times. And,
Couple times.
yeah, like...
Not as a prisoner.
Not as a
Conjugal-
prisoner.
I figured
They
as
have conjugal
much.
visits.
Not as a prisoner,
Conjugal
everybody.
visits. Do they still do conjugal visits here?
No, not in Wyoming. Other places we used to. We had trailers at the state penitentiary.
Do they
And
call that a
basically-
fuck hut? That's
no,
what I would call it.
they were the trailers, and the best part was is they check you in with whoever was your partner, and like for count, because you still got to count them, right? Basically, you just had like one of the towers, a guard with binoculars, and he'd call the phone and be like, "Come to the door," and like some dude would open his bathroom and like wave, and you'd be like, "Okay, wave back," and they'd close the door and be like, "You got 12 hours left." Yeah, that's what it was like.
Oh, it was that long? It wasn't like you get 20 minutes.
Oh no, you had 24 hours in there.
Oh, well.
Yeah. They'd cook. They had a little cooktop, and they'd bring like cans of beans and shit like that. And, yeah.
Well, let's do last word.
Yo, pour
Yeah,
some
we've been
beans
going a
and...
while.
Or why do you think it's bug fucking? Because they've been in prison so long?
Yeah,
It's all you know anymore.
that's... You're
only know
conditioned.
I learned some shit.
You're conditioned now.
I bet that a lot of people brought peanut butter and jelly too, right?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and
Peanut
jelly.
butter and jelly and
They-
asshole sandwiches.
They also. They also
you put the peanut butter, you put the jelly in first, and then the peanut butter seals it in.
And then they break the seal.
CJ, what's your last word?
One other last prison story. They used to have what are called
It's like sap out of a tree.
soda pop babies, which is for the longest time the visitation room had a soda pop machine at an angle where the cameras couldn't see, and so if the visitation guard wasn't paying a lot of attention, there was lots of children created at the state penitentiary by the soda pop machine. So, like 9 months later, there'd be a baby visiting with the person, like, oh, it's a soda pop baby. So, yeah, so that's a thing. But
It's different than the deployment, baby.
Yeah, the babies.
You're like, I've been on a 10-month deployment and I got a 1-year-old. I got like a 6-month-old and I've been gone for 2 years.
You're like, wait a second. You're like doing in your head. You got your fingers out counting. Like,
This ain't good.
Bitch.
Those are deployment babies.
my last word is. So I don't know how many of you heard, but they've created the Space Corps.
Yes.
Now,
I'm pissed that it's not the mobile infantry.
I am mad it's not the mobile infantry too. So regardless of politics, whether you love or hate Donald Trump, here's why I think it's cool. I don't think it's maybe practical, but here's why I think it's cool. It's yeah, Drew's already given me the evil eye because we've already debated the space program. But yes, go ahead.
So for this, like, we don't even have enough money for the DOD, like, and he's just like, we're making more space stuff. We're like, where are we gonna get this money?
I don't know.
That hurts me.
From the Bigley Money place.
Yeah.
You just put more tariffs on something.
Yeah, right. Slap a tariff on
Scrooge
it.
McDuck vault.
Like the $200 billion on tariffs from China, boom, Space Corps. So
God damn.
instant Space Corps.
We still owe like
It's not even
$2 trillion.
Space Corps.
Don't you
Space
know it's the
Force.
American dream, Ryan? We just take out a new credit card to pay for it.
Oh, that's right. We just spend our
It's like
land.
you just call the treasury, be like, you better warm up the printers. So, but
That's so depressing.
it's like, sir, we can't even afford the color ink for the bonds anymore. Like, well, black and white will have to do. Like,
Yeah.
But anyway, here's why I think it's cool. I'm a giant space nerd. I like space travel. For me, one of my favorite eras and kind of things to study is the Apollo program and kind of pushing the boundaries, going to the moon. So I've always kind of felt like when I was a little kid, like if there was ever a Starfleet, that's what I would want to join. Like, how freaking cool would that be? And I know this isn't Starfleet, but it's the next best damn thing we have.
Speaking of going to the moon, did you see the Chinese want to go to the dark side of the moon?
They do.
What are they going to do when they uncover the secret Nazi base? There's no. I'm just saying, there's no way the Chinese are beating the Nazis.
I'm kind of hoping.
It took the rest of the world to do it.
Yeah, there's no way the fucking Chinese.
They're not going to do it on their own.
Especially when the secret Nazi base has Mecha Hitler.
Yeah, and there's space Nazis. Space is a quantifier.
Yeah.
Adolf Linkler.
Oh,
Adolf
Winkler.
Winkler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to emancipate you from your inferior genes.
Yep. So yes, I do think it's exciting. They've actually, like, the basic rank is called an astronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at the rank chart yesterday.
They've got some sweet ranks.
If you're a Chief Master Sergeant, it's either Starbase Chief Master Sergeant or Starship Chief Master Sergeant.
How fucking sweet is that? Like, you sound like you're in like an episode of like a sci-fi movie.
How fucking goofy is that?
Budget.
Like, what rank are you? It's like fucking 83 syllables. What are we in the fucking German army now?
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be like 83 syllables.
Yeah, so it's if only I was 15 years younger and 100 pounds lighter. Like,
You'd go be in Space Force?
I'd be in Space Corps.
It's Space Force, not Space Corps.
Well, apparently they're batting around the idea of it being Space Corps. So
Jesus, I hope it's anything but Space Force, because Space Force
Force
sounds
is
fucking
lame.
stupid.
Space Force.
That is a terrible name.
You know who's not going to be happy about this? The United States Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to lose Space Command. They're going to lose basically a lot of the cool shit.
Where do you think
people in the Air
Space Force is going to
do.
come from?
Yeah, it's going to be a breakout of the Air Force.
Yeah.
Probably going to be 80 to 90%
Do you think,
Air Force.
Drew, you were in the Air Force, is there going to be like, now like, the Space Force looks down on the Air Force like, haha, you don't even have a PhD. What are you doing? Like where's your degree in
can only go
astrophysics?
this high.
It's like, oh, that's right. You guys don't even break the stratosphere. There's going to totally be snobbery. And I really was hoping for mobile infantry, because how fun would it be?
The ranks literally look like they were lifted from the mobile infantry.
I think that they wasted a perfectly good opportunity as well to bring in all of the nerds of the world like us to help design the ranks for this. Because we would have done a fucking killer job. There would no be fucking stupid like Starbase
Starship Master
There'd
Sergeant.
be like the fucking Sky Marshal.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Yeah.
You'd be like Star Lance.
Yeah.
Like Star Lance 1.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like fucking really cool.
Ryan thinks it should have a number after it, though.
Dude, like Space Force 5, literally, that rolls off the tongue. Tell me it doesn't. Like,
you're right.
I mean, it does sound good.
Space Force 5, incoming. Detachment
What do you got, Ryan?
19.
What?
What's your last word?
Drew's not amused.
I've lost all faith in the Cheyenne PD today.
No, you can't steal my last word.
That was your last word? Shit!
No.
All right, no, I'll let you have it.
No, you go ahead. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll come up with a new one.
I didn't know.
I got
I didn't
time.
know you. That was gonna be your last.
No, go
word.
get him.
I just wanted to tell the story.
No, it's you. Tell it.
Okay, so today, who originally found it?
I think Matt saw it at one point, and he mentioned something to me, and I didn't realize what he had said. And then I went outside and I looked at it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
So one of the
really
employees, Matt, found a box, and in it was
in the
beer.
alley,
in the alley by the dumpster, and in it was some beer bottles and bullets.
Like full beer bottles,
full.
There was 9 bottles of beer and 7 bullets, and they were rifle bullets. I didn't pick them up because I was like, "This is."
I'm not getting my fingerprints on
that.
that.
They look like 223, but I didn't check them out. And in all fairness,
and they look like
they
look like reloads.
They were really fucking sketchy looking.
Kyle
bullets.
described them as quote sketchy bullets.
Yeah.
I know sketchy when I see it. Folks.
I was skeptical, but he showed me the picture, and I was like, "Yeah, those are sketchy bullets."
And then so Kyle called the police, and I was
as an upstanding citizen is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I was waiting out there with him, and we were joking around, and it took them an hour to respond to this. On top of that hour,
during which,
while we were standing there, we saw 8 police officers drive by and 3 sheriffs.
Yeah,
doing nothing.
Literally watched one of the sheriffs go to lunch.
Yeah, we watched one of the sheriffs pull into Subway, grab a sub sandwich, and take off.
You should have just walked over.
He
and be
was
like, "Can we steal you
next.
for a second?"
I tried flagging them down.
Over.
Literally, I waved at one officer. I tried to get the attention of another officer. They just looked at me like I was fucking stupid. I was like, "What the?" I'm not waving at you because I'm some kind of fucking retard. I'm trying to get your attention, you asshole.
Like, what do we have to do? Run into traffic and hop on your car, going, "Don't go anywhere!"
Right?
The sheriff who was at lunch was one street next to the beer and bullets. Like, we're just sitting there like,
The whole time I'm thinking like, we're a family business. We're open for business right now. There are kids in our store. What if some kids come out and they find a box of beer and bullets and they get into that shit?
That
who
kid's
knows
like
what that
fucking
is?
win.
Hell no.
Yeah, right. Or what if some
no.
random bum who's got a violent history finds a box of beer and just gets fucking shit faced and starts
In our alleyway.
Yeah, right. There's so many hazards there. All I'm trying to do is just get anybody, even a community service officer, to come down there and just handle it. Because I'm these bullets are fucking weird. This has got to be something that's suspicious. Somebody was shot with some bullets from this same magazine. You know what I mean? I've literally just found the missing link to some sort of murder or robbery, and CPD's just we'll get to it.
To better accentuate our point on how sketchy these bullets were, they weren't in a box of bullets or anything. They were just
loose.
They were loose, scattered in the butt. Somebody was nah, I don't want these bullets.
I'm heading out to the range. Get my beer.
And he just throws it in there.
Yeah, it was. I guess the best way to describe it was a fistful of bullets thrown in the box.
It was so weird. And no cops wanted to come and handle it.
I'm sure there's a real reason.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a good reason, right? But it is, I don't want to bag on our local law
enforcement. No,
because I have a lot of respect for those guys and they do a hard job. It is somewhat disappointing though to feel it's not a priority for a whole hour.
Yeah.
I get it. I wasn't expecting someone to zip down there in 2 minutes. I planned on it being a half an hour. But after 45 minutes, I was frustrated. I was this is kind of ridiculous.
Like a certain rock getting thrown through a certain window. That's a different story.
Kind of.
For another day.
My experiences with the Laramie County Sheriffs have always been positive. Yeah. My experiences with the Cheyenne Police have always been disappointing. I don't want it to be. It just happens that every time I call them, we at one point during the store, in the early years of the store, I got mailed about $30,000 worth of drugs that came to us in the mail, and I called it in, and the police, 4 officers came down, including a sergeant, and they basically shut our store down for half a day, and they were taking pictures of this fucking shit, and they're all standing around basically jerking each other off about how cool it was. And, even the sergeant and the other 3 officers, none of them left me a case number. None of them left me a way to contact them. So I'm sitting here the whole time they just took all these drugs. Oh, cool. Someone's going to come into my store and saw my fucking head off because I don't have their $30,000 worth of drugs. And these guys, these fucking jackasses didn't even leave me a way to get in touch with them so I know what to do or what I should say. And no shit, this is a true story, the drug dealers literally called the store later that day. And luckily for me, I have a friend that's a U.S. Marshal who I was able to call and actually helped get those guys arrested. It led to 3 arrests, but not at all thanks to the Cheyenne. Yeah, well, it's not something I normally tell people.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows.
Now everyone knows.
But thanks to the Cheyenne, the Cheyenne PD really does not inspire confidence in me. Our sheriffs are great, marshals are great, CPD, man, they've made some strides.
Really
they've made some strides, and it's cool that they're doing social media and stuff, but unfortunately for me, my interactions with them have just always been lackluster or disappointing.
You gotta step up your game.
Yeah, I've never hesitated before to put them on blast, and here I am again. I will do it. I will definitely, be the first one to say you guys have some disappointing service.
What's your last word, Kyle?
My last word. My last word is I haven't really thought of one. Go, Drew. Ryan stole my thunder.
Oh no.
So
your last word could be the thank you.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, that's good.
6 weeks. I have 6 weeks till I head to Gen Con 2018.
Road to Gen Con.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The rails to Gen Con because it sounds more.
The rails to Gen Con.
Yep, there we
on
go.
the march to war.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much because the last couple of cons I've been to have been really disappointing.
I mean, Gen Con is not ChupaCon.
No, it's not.
So there's that.
It's not.
It's a big fucking deal.
It is, and
I was gonna go, and then everything sold out in 2 hours.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
it did. I guess they put the tickets in the mail, so I'll be getting my passes.
They actually mail you the tickets?
Well, you gotta pay. Here's the thing. For those of you who've never gone to Gen Con, it's an extra $10 to have your tickets and your badge mailed to you.
Okay.
It's worth every penny.
Okay, not waiting and standing
that line will take half a day.
Yeah.
And it will take a whole gaming session to get your badge if you get
awful.
it there. So
worth every penny to mail them.
Worth $10.
Yeah.
And I'll have it and I can walk straight to my game on Thursday morning when it opens. So
how are we getting there? Are you flying in?
Yeah, we got our flights. We get a late flight. I think it leaves Denver at 8:30 at night.
Okay.
But we'll get there, and then the first thing we'll do is probably just do the vendor hall for the first 6 hours, and I'm playing one session of Savage Worlds. I backed the Monster Hunters International setting, so I wanted to play one game of that.
Okay.
And the rest of it, I'm doing the D&D experience.
Ooh.
And what that is I get 4 sessions, 4 hours apiece, with the same DM, the same group, the whole time we're there.
So 16 hours.
16 hours. I get an invite to the special at the end of the con on the Saturday night. So that's always a big epic event, or multi-table event, where you're actually, whatever you're doing at your table is influencing the whole story of the other probably 500 people that are playing.
That sounds insane.
It's
It's pretty intense.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm excited. I'll be talking about this for the next 6 weeks, because I'm really looking forward to this big-ass con that I haven't been in about 2 years, so.
Well,
yeah.
All right.
My last word is we appreciate you guys. And
he copped out again. Everybody.
No, I actually have a real one, and it's kind of a spoiler, and we're not going to officially announce it, probably for another week or two. But you guys will be the first ones to hear about it. We're going to be bringing in a customer rewards program.
Yay!
Into the shop, and it's
Huzzah!
something that we once many years ago, about 7 years ago, as Griffin Games and Comics, we did, and it's something that I always kind of liked, and we're gonna bring it back, and it should be really cool. So we've got some stuff coming for that, and that's my last word.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Cool. Thanks for listening, guys. We missed you.
Thank you.